Hi guys, welcome to the channel. And India under 23 also lost, just like the senior team. It's become a norm in Indian football that every time we lose, wins are not for us Indian fans. But jokes aside, the match itself actually it was I think really good, and there are some things which even senior team players lack that this team players has. We will talk about all that, and we will also do a preview for the next game which we'll play on 21st. And it's actually really exciting time because the under 23 is playing well. All the players we wanted were playing well. There were negatives, of course, as always, because this is a game of football. There will be positive, there will be negatives, but the best thing which I saw from the under 23 team is of course their fight, which the senior team lacks except for 1 2 players. All of these players, everyone gave their all. There were dips in performances here and there throughout the match, but overall, in terms of grit, in terms of determination, in terms of playing for the badge, you cannot discount any of these guys. All of them gave their hearts to the team. They wanted to play for the India under 23, and it looked like it in the performance, because even after losing a man to red card, they still fought well. So that's a very commendable thing which the senior team players should learn, because that's the only thing lacking in the, of course there is ability also in the senior team, but great determination can win you matches and give you performances out of you. So we will talk about it. So let's start with the lineup, and of course there were few surprises in the lineup as well, because I expected Koro to start and I expected Ayush to be benched and instead Vibin to start, but it doesn't happen. As always, we never get to see our own players playing in the 11. The coaches always think different, so it's not that big of a deal. I was not mad with the lineup as well. Lineup was good. There is nothing you can find fault in that lineup as well. Of course, there were individual mistakes which we can talk about, but overall the lineup was satisfactory, and even the game also was pretty satisfactory. Of course, we will talk about how we lost the game and all, but first let's talk about the first half. And throughout the first half, we were great. There was no problem in that. Of course, they were keeping possession, they were passing a little bit more, we were going long sometimes, and we were losing ball, which is evident because this Tajikistan team, mind you, has been playing for a whole year together. So it's evident that they will look better in terms of cohesion. We lacked cohesion, that was evident, but it only lasted for 15-20 minutes. After that, once the player got used to the teammates, they were really good, and till the end of the game, it would have been really good to see what would have happened if it was 11 versus 11 match, but it was not. But first half it was great. In all parts, defense was solid. We weren't letting them create too many chances. Till we were 11v11, they didn't create that much. There were here and there half chances, but you couldn't say that they had a clear cut chance that they missed. You cannot say that. Our boys were really good in defense, solid. Midfield was lacking because it was the instructions to go long. You could see that McCartan was playing long. McCartan's switches were really good. Pramveer also was most of the time playing long balls, but not all the time. There were times when we were passing little bit, passing lanes, but midfield was not used. I think that's a point we can take to the next game. Midfield was a little less used, so that's a point we can take forward. But the whole first half, it was a really good match. We were hitting them on counters. We were playing well. And now let's talk about the goal, which was, a textbook striker's finish for Suhail. And this is why I kept asking that Suhail has to play in the national team. He has to play. He has to start. I know, he may not be ready or that, but this game showed you that he is ready. Of course, you would say that it's under 23 team, but let me remind you, 4 of their players play in the Russian league, 2 played in the Georgia league, and plus there was a diaspora player. who was playing the whole match. Their striker is also plays for the main team, Tajikistan, who made it to the quarterfinals. So it's a really good team. Plus, there are multiple ACL2 level players who played in the ACL2. So you can't discount them out. Of course, it was a friendly. You could say that the intensity they showed would be more in the qualifiers, which is true in some ways, but you have to say that our players all play domestically. None of our players have any experience of going abroad or playing in any other leagues. Plus, we have only been together for a month, and we can do this after a month. We can hold a side like Tajikistan, who have done well recently in age group tournament. They have qualified for the World Cup. They have done well in the under 23s as well, and they have also lost by very little margins. We can hold a team like that, and I can say this with confidence that we were the better team in the first half. That's why the scoreline also showed 1-0 to us. It was going really, really good. I was really happy. I was looking forward to the second half, but let's talk about the but in the second half. In the 58th minute, that reckless challenge by Ayush. Second yellow, red, out. And that changed the whole game. That changed it completely, because then they started substituting players, because multiple subs were allowed. They put in 6-7 players till the end of the game. So they changed the whole squad, and they took advantage of it, because then we had to play with 10 men for 35 minutes non-stop in that high intensity. It is really tough to play a man down for that long, and that's exactly what happened. They pressured us, and they got the first goal. Of course, you could say we could have done better. We could have. Set piece defending is a place we have to work on. It's a place we have to see after. We conceded very, you could say, easy goals. The goalkeeping is also a question. Of course, the kid is playing for the first time in the India under 23 international game. So he has only played RFDL and few minutes for the Mohun Bagan. So it's understandable that he will be nervous. So let's cut him some slack. I'm saying a lot of hate for the guy, but I mean, he's only 18 and he's played his first match. So let's just not criticize him too much. Of course, these are friendlies only. So it may not be that he will start for the qualifiers. So Arbaz is there, Sahil is there, so maybe they will start. But who knows? Even if he starts, I don't think we should, keep reminding him about this performance. Same thing with Ayush. Of course, he hasn't had a good international debut for the senior team as well. He has been criticized a lot, which some of it is deserved, to be honest, because he hasn't been that good. But it's not his fault that he's selected. Manlo selected him thinking that he was ready, but he was not ready. We have to expect that. And same with the under 23 team. So much baggage he's taking, that pressure of scrutiny and his own performances. And same thing happened here. Fought in two minds, did a lazy reckless challenge, got a red card, and unfortunately that changed the game. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but let's not blame him. It's for sure that we have to change. Vibin should play there in the next game against Kyrgyzstan, but let's not blame him. But overall, then yeah, what happened is they increased the intensity. We were playing 10 men again, but again you got to see the fight from the national team, from us. That scuffed clearance that landed on Ayman's feet. A beautiful ball he played through and reached the striker, Parthiv Gogoi, and beautiful finish. So it was a really good goal. Again, we were in the lead. Then after that, of course, then same position. We had two, set piece, and we, conceded on both. There were question marks with the defense, because we didn't jump that high. We could have jumped, and Abhishek left his man on one time, so they scored one. Goalkeeper also, when he had to come, he didn't come. But when we didn't have to come, he came. So it was a mistake, and we conceded 3. And the score ended up 3-2. if it was 11v11, I think we would have won that match, and which is a very, very good thing, going forward, because, you could see that these players, they are, if they get more time, they can do even better, and I'm happy for that. So yeah, that's the review for the Tajikistan game. Now talking about the Kyrgyz game, and I think more of the same. Same grit should be shown, same determination, same way we play. No, Sanan was so good, he had to stay there in the next match as well. I don't know if he will try or not, but I think Sanan should be there because he's has warranted his place. And so the lineup, which we will talk about, the lineup is, I think my defense will be the same. I think maybe a change in goalkeeper. You put Arbaz there, give Priyansh a rest, let him cool down. And Arbaz, who has already played for Real Kashmir, should start there. Or Sahil, whoever, you can start. Midfield, I think what I will do is uh, take Vineet from the right wing, put him in the midfield instead of Ayush, and put Koro on the right. Because Vineet, even though yes, it was good at sometimes, he was not doing the works of a winger because he's not a winger. He's center midfielder by trade. So he should play there. I think a double pivot of Namte and Vineet would be great with McCartan on the number 10. He was a blessed player, I think, for me, last game. The switches he was doing, the way he was pressing, the way he was passing the balls was great. And of course, Suhail up top, beautiful striker. I think he should be our starting striker in the national team. I have seen enough. In the Super Cup, he scored 2 beautiful goals. Here also, same type of striker instinct goal that was tap in, many will say, but that's what a striker needs. So Suhail should start, and I think if we do that and if we play the same, little bit reduce the mistakes. There were some mistakes in the defense as well. There were some balls which we were giving cheaply. Abhishek was a little bit under pressure defensively, but overall it was a great game. Sanan was really great. Their right back, had a torrid time against him, so he should stay. Koro there, whenever Koro came in, looked great. So this will be my 11. As I said, same defense, a change in midfield instead of, because Ayush can't play, and we shouldn't have started him. I think best is to put Vibin there and put Koro on the right, or shift Vineet in the midfield and put Koro on the right. But Koro needs to start next game because he's our one of the best players right now in the under 23 team, without a doubt. And Suhail can start. Parthiv can be a great backup. That's a really good thing about this team. We have backup on backup on backup on every position, which is very good. And the performances are also we are getting is also very good. So that should be our lineup. I think if we play this lineup and play this way, we will beat Kyrgyz Republic. There is no qualms on that. And I think we should get 2 more matches. That will be ideal before the qualifiers. I think because the ISL future is also in limbo, which is another sad thing for Indian football. But what that will do is that will give these players the time. They can get 2 matches in the even if not window, they can get 2 matches in September. Yeah, window. If national team doesn't play, it doesn't matter. I think they should get before the qualifiers. That will be really good, and that will be icing on the cake. And I think after this game, we have to see this Kyrgyz game. But after this game, my hopes have increased of beating Bahrain. Qatar is still too high in the qualifiers. I think beating Bahrain, my hopes have increased a lot, and I think we have a really good chance. And I think we should, keep going, keep fighting, keep playing like this. And yeah, that's all for the preview. And let me know if you like this setup more or the old setup, because I have tried a different thing this time, and it's a little bit different because different room, and I'm holding the mic instead of mic placed on a stand. So if you like it, then comment down, or if you like the old setup, you can comment that as well. So we will change that. We will see what works well. Also, like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. That motivates me a lot, and you guys are leaving comments on my posts a lot, and I appreciate it a lot, because I love to converse about the football and other things which are happening in Indian football. And comment down your video ideas, what video you would like me to make on next, so that would be helpful as well. And yeah, Until next time, it's Hari Vishwanathan. Peace out.